Right. So guys, I am Jayesh Putlavating, the community manager of Genesis X, also a full stack web developer. I welcome you all to the first bootcamp of Genesis X, that is dive into web design. Well, who am I? I have worked in few startups. My major role was this only. I used to first make designs in Figma, then code it out in HTML and CSS using some other frameworks. Today, well, before we begin, let's talk about you a little. Well, every we all engineers, students, while learning web designing or web development, we all have this problem. Well, we learn HTML and CSS, but we don't usually know when to use which tags or which CSS properties and where to use. Well, after looking at a layout, you should be able to get a picture in your mind that what tags are required, what CSS properties are required. And well, most people can't do that after just watching one tutorial. This is why we have made this bootcamp to teach you that basically. So before that, let's talk about you a little. How much familiar are you with web development? So I think there will be a poll on chat. So let's guys poll it. Was this not clear? Hello, is my voice clear now, guys? Hello. Yes, so sorry about that. Well, I'll start again. My name is Jayesh. I am a community manager at Genesis X and also a full stack web developer. I have s- a- about 2 years of experience with web development. I'm practicing learnings and stuff. I've worked in few startups. I know that, well, my major role was to create designs and, well, code out those designs. Today in this bootcamp, our role, well, we attempt or we are going to aim to teach you that after looking at one design, what you should think about to convert it into HTML and CSS. So, well, the major problem of students is after watching only tutorials of HTML and CSS, you can't figure out or you may not know which tags or CSS properties are required to make this design. The aim of this bootcamp is that we will teach you or we will create a mental model of doing that. So I'll show you what we are going to design today. Hmm. So until it loads, what have you done in development until now? Could you show maybe a chat? Hi guys, I've seen people excited. Well, I am also very excited for this bootcamp. Is my voice still cracking? I see some of the text. Yeah. So today, my message is clear. Is can someone text me? My message clear. Okay. In between capping. Hmm. I'll try to do some. Hi. So is my voice clear now? Hello. What about now? All right. Okay. Really sorry about that. I know it's taking a lot of time, but I guess the first bootcamp will be like this. So this is the design we are going to make today. Well, let's look at it. We at Genesis X are very foodie. We love to eat, especially pizza and burgers. We are going to create this out of HTML and CSS from scratch. I have not even built it before. I will create it with you today in this bootcamp. And well, before that, I want to show you some little theory that what requires, well, what at least you need to know apart from HTML and CSS. So let's jump into it. Where's it? Yeah. Okay. Yes. So let's first start with HTML semantic tags. You might have learned about HTML semantic tags earlier, but let's just go about the importance of using a semantic tag over normal divs and spans and well p tags. I want you let's not let's see this art. There are these tags: article, aside, details, footer, header, main, section, summary. Now these tags, well, then they can you can replace them with div, but these are very contentful tags. These tags have meaning behind them. You should use these tags where it fits instead of using divs everywhere. When you use these tags, for you it will be easy to read. When you open your huge HTML project next time, you will understand your code better if you use the semantic tags. But the main importance here is not for you, it is for the SEO, the search engine optimizers or crawlers that crawl around every website on internet. They look out for these tags and they can identify your website's content much better if you use these tags. So it is a very good practice if you use these tags from the start itself. So well, it's nothing much. Article basically means if you have a blog, then you might want to keep it inside an article tag. All the p tags should be in between the article tags. Aside a content which is not related to the main content, but will give good information. Well, it is important, but not that important. Then we keep it in aside. This details goes with fig caption and all. Figure, footer and header. You know, header is the most upper part, basic, mostly navbar. Footer, we all know this is the footer, this is the header, and section, yes, mostly we'll use sections most of the time instead of divs. It defines the content very well. And main only one page, one HTML page should have only one main. That is important. Apart from body, it should be one main. It mostly goes like this: one header, then one main, then one footer. Apart from these three, you can use aside and aside for aside. Inside those, you will use everything like section, article, figure, summary, etc. Okay, I want you to show something. Wait. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is, well, this is just a little bit theory. We won't be going in detail about this. I'm just giving you an overview of theory of what we need to know to at least design. Well, we'll need to know at least this much to design a good design, or the one I've shown you. There are number of things here. There are all these units are there in CSS, but which one to use? Mostly you should basically never use pixels, because it is a fixed value. It is very problematic. Use rem instead. Use percentage instead. Use percentage for width and height, and use rems for font size and paddings and margins. We'll talk about it, but we'll mostly be using rems and percentage, no other value. There are some other values which are good, like ch also, but let's keep it simple. Then the next thing is display. So the two most important properties of CSS are the display property and the position property. Now why? Any layout you see, any website you see, any web design you see, and you want to recreate it in HTML and CSS, you should know what display property and where to use it, and what position property to use it. That's it. Just knowing these two of them in detail, you will be able to create any design, any layout, literally. So let's just see what is display first. Display, we will be going into flex a lot. Flex, we'll be using flex everywhere. Flex block and inline block, and none means it will remove the content from the HTML that is generated on the page. So, well, block is simple. Every block is placed. If you display something as one block, it will, all the contents inside it are placed, are given inline, and it has its own width. The default value for block is width full. So whenever you give something block, it will take the whole width of the screen, or a whole 100% available width. I'll discuss this in deep now. Then let's see inline block. Inline block, you see the blue lines, the blue border has been squeezed to fit only these three. It is not taking the extra space. This is because inline block doesn't take full width. It just takes the minimum width, or the required width. Then there is flex. Flex basically keeps, or any content inside a flex div will be placed in rows. So flex is basically rows. Everything inside is rows. We won't be going much into grids, but grids basically allows you to create rows and columns with full flexibility, but it gets a little complicated. So let's keep it simple. Flex is good enough to use or create such high designs. So did you guys understood? Are you guys with me till here? Do you have any doubts with display, or should I go in deep? I have something. Okay, I'll shift to this. Just one second. One second, guys. I'm setting something up. I need to draw and stuff to make you guys explain the next part. Well, until then, you can send some text via chat, and are you understanding it? Is my explaining good, or where can I shine an improvement? Okay, let's give it a time, give it a bit. Oh, mark tag. Well, you know what? I can't go across every tag, but you can literally. I'll send you the link in the chat right now. It is basically a highlighted text. It highlights the text. It does nothing but. I'll send the links. I'll be giving all the resources. Yep. Okay. Yes. Okay, my screen is sharing again. So when we talk about display, it is very simple. It has nothing to say more about it. But basically, display none. All display basically tells how the content it's placed on the HTML tree. Now, what is HTML tree? You may ask. HTML tree is this. When you click F12 and you see this everything. This is the HTML tree that gets generated after you start something. So this div inside span, inside script and all body. So this whole tree is called HTML tree, and every element inside it has one height and one width assigned to it automatically or by CSS, however you want. So display properties are used to modify that. Display flex especially is used to modify the height and width and its placement of the elements inside it. Okay, one thing I want to focus on is box model. Box model basically is, you need to understand box model if you want to design one button or one element. So HTML the content here is basically this. If I wait. Yes. So when I write this h1 hello world, this basically means, I'll break it out. So this hello world is just the content. Now it has assigned it has been assigned one width and height automatically because it's h1 tag. It will it has inline block in it. So inline, no, the display type of h1 default is inline. Let's not get into this. The part I want to focus here is here. If content is hello world, the padding and the border and the margin, the whatever background color you give, I want to draw it, or you know what, I'll just show it via code. I need to share my screen now. One second. I'm going to share the whole screen. Okay, let's get into it. Let's close this. Let's do this. So I hope you have, well, at least any code editor. I suggest VS Code. Well, normally you would do this. You open VS Code, you enter one exclamation mark, and the emit abbreviation one will give you a boilerplate or a template. This is ready to go. These tags, let's not get into this, but they will directly start. And I will also add this. So what I have done until now is nothing. Opened a folder, opened VS Code in it, or any file code editor, created two files, that is index.html and style.css. That's it. And did the emit abbreviation with exclamation. I think we all know about until that. Let's start. What I wanted to show actually is, let's say we have a h1, we have hello world in it. Don't want to take too much time with this. Let's go live. So use this extension for a quick reload, automatic reloading and all. That is live server. Live server will give you this option of go live here, and it's on port. Okay, so whenever I do any changes, it will be automatically reloaded. So what I wanted to show, okay, so if I give a class here, hello world. Now let's style the CSS. I think we all know how to style at least this much. This is the class name. Whatever class name you give, all separated by space and all, must be in CSS. It must start with a full stop. Okay. Yep, my GitHub Copilot is on. So what I wanted to show is box model. Let's give it a padding. First background color. Let's give it aqua. Now you will see. Oh, I didn't link it. Link style sheet. This is how we link a style sheet. So right now h1 takes a block element. It's taking the full width, and okay, let's not do h1 then. Let's do span. Span. Well, I'm zooming it a bit. Now what happens when I add padding here? Padding 10 pixels. 10. I said I'll use rem. So 16 pixels is 1 rem. So when I add padding here, oh, it's too much. So when I add padding here, the padding goes with the background color, whatever content here is. So the background color, whatever you apply, will be applied to the padding and content, but it won't apply to a border and margin. That's the main point of box model. So if I add margin here, 2 rems, so you will see the spacing has been added after the background color or after the padding. If I comment this out, you will see the spacing has been gone. And what if I do a border, or let's say 1 rem? So this now, and I remove the margin now. So it goes like this: content, first content, above it the padding. The padding, whatever background color you apply, it will be applied to the content and the padding. Then border, any color you give to border, it doesn't get the background color. Then padding doesn't get any color. Whatever color is behind the element will be given to it. Well, that's it about the box model. It is really important to know this, why margin and padding are different. To go further, well, then position. Now this is the most interesting part. MDN docs. I am displaying on MDN docs because it is very good. learning from directly documentation is really great instead of looking for a video of every content. So this is the most important part right now here. Static position static is the default value for every HTML element unless and until you specify something. Position relative basically means what? So this div, there is this div, it is contained in these three divs are contained inside one div. Now if I do relative and I give it top, or for move it via the top, left, bottom and right, I can move this. I can write 30px. It won't work if I have left, right? So top and left are mutually exclusive. Sorry, top and bottom are mutually exclusive. Left and right are mutually exclusive. You can't use both together. So basically, right means it will change, it will shift that element. Okay, something's happening. Okay, 1 second. Sorry about. Okay, is it working? Okay, sorry about that. Where was I? I was in position. So position, basically whenever you can give some element position relative, it will move it wherever you want it. And now you can use the moving position or moving scales via top, right, left and bottom. You can use, I'll send this in the chat. Also send this in the chat. So what I wanted to tell again was relative is, well, it will move it from its current element. So wherever you keep it, it will move from there to whatever values you assign to top and left and right and bottom. Then absolute will, well, in relative, I forgot to mention that it will be given its own spot on the HTML tree. So here you can see when you move it, its space is where it was originally there. The space is still there, but when it is absolute, it will be removed from the HTML tree and it will be kept above it. So there are stacks, one HTML tree, then one HTML tree, then one HTML tree, and that is where their index comes in. And well, let's get into that after this. There is also one property called fixed. And fixed, basically it removes it from everywhere and keeps it in the main DOM tree. I can explain this better here. Let's do this. So if this is relative, it's nothing. Static. So if this is relative and you assign left, right, bottom or up values to it, it will move up, so it will move up, it will move bottom to bottom, left, left, right, right. Simple basic maths. But what happens when you give it absolute? When you give it absolutes, its default position is this: top 0, left 0, and its position here will be removed from here, and its content also will remove. So this absolute will assign it to the parent div's top 0 and left 0. Now from here it will move. If you give it right 0, it will come here. If you give it left 0, it will come here. If you give it bottom 0, it will come here. If you give it up 0, top 0, it will come here. What if you give minus, negative values, negative left, it will get out of the box and it will still be displayed here. Negative top value, it will go out. So this is how you change one element freely with flexibility using absolute. But you should know that it's not given its place here. It is in a different stack here now. It has its own stack. It is placed above its parent element stack. So there is another thing called fixed. When you yes.
Hello? Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but your screen is not shared like from last 5 minutes.
Oh. Okay, sorry. Hello. Is my screen visible now? Okay, sorry about that. Screen was not visible. My bad. I'll go over what I did now. Well, what I basically told was, when you have relative to one div, you can move this div freely anywhere by giving top, left, bottom and right values, and it will move from here. If you give left 10, it will move left 10 from here. If you give right 10, it will move right 10 from here, and the same thing here. But when you give it absolute, it will go top 0, left 0 here. The position assigned to it will be removed. The height and width assigned to the parent div to add this element will also be removed. And now from here it can move anywhere. The default value is here. If you give right 0, it will be here. If you give bottom 0, it will be here. If you give top 0, which is its default value, it will be here. If you give negative values, it will go outside. That's it. And when I give it fixed, when it fixed, its default value is basically this. It takes the fixed value of the whole page. It's not bound by its parent element when you give it fixed. So that's it. The positions, these are the three main positions. When you give it fixed, it's not bound by its parent value. It's bound by the page's HTML main element. So here, if I do it fixed, you see this is one HTML frame. If you go into the HTML, you can see this is an iframe. Website is embedded into this. So this is its left 40 and top 40. Left 40 and top 40. If I do this 0, so this is where it starts everything. So this is position. Understanding this is very important to create any layouts. Understanding this and display. Okay, let me read some comments a bit. Are you guys with me? Did you understand this? Or should I repeat this? Okay, Sahil, thank you. I'll then continue with the session. Z index, I mentioned that when you do it absolute or fixed, they get their own stack. So but they are not bound to its own layer, right? It's overlapping this and this. So they get their own stack. So there may be problems that you want one element above another. You want one stack above another stack. So how do you change that stack up and down? using Z index. So this is a very good example of it. This is the default, default one. When given auto, the earlier wrote one, like this HTML was written before this, that's why it's below this. So top down approach is used when Z index is auto, and Z index auto is the default value. Then above that you can change it. If you give 6, so the higher the value, it is higher in the stack. So if I change this Z index to 1, so you can see it is above all auto. So auto basically means 0, and it will be whenever you add 1 or any higher value, it will go above the auto. So all elements with Z index auto are now below Z index 1. Then what happens when we assign Z index 3? It will go above Z index 2. So same thing, if I assign it Z index 5, it will go above 5 and also 2 and 1 and all auto. If I give it 7, it will be at top. But you also need to make sure that you are not changing Z index inside of a relative elements, because that becomes a different tree apart itself. Gets really complicated while using Z index, so use it carefully. So this was all the theory I wanted to share. Now let's start into this. So here comes the mental model part. What I wanted to tell was, when you use this, okay, I think I can show this. So okay, are you guys ready? Let's show some chats. We are now going to start the designing or development of the design. Did you understand Z index and position and display? Because everything depends on these three things. No, these two things, that is display and position. Okay. Alright, so if you can code along with me, or you can pause and do however you want it according to your own pace. It's not a restriction. So let's start. What do you do first? Well, when I look at it, so this is where you really need to hear at my words what I am saying. So when I look at this, I can see that there is one whole div. This is one whole div. And then I can see there are headers in it. There is some tags here, 2 buttons, 1 image, and inside that 3 cards randomly placed. So how do I go on to make this? So well, let's start with this. Well, yes, let's start with the header. Now we know that this is one container, right? So let's make this container first. So I know, well, let's remove all this content, jargon. Let's start with main. Then I know that, well, I did say that there should be one main and header should be above it, but in our case the header is inside our main. Now, so we can keep the header inside main too. We can modify it according to our needs, but we mostly keep header, then main, then footer. Now I will keep this complete bar as header. Why not nav? You may ask. This complete is not nav bar. Only this is the, see, this 5 buttons, only these 5 buttons are nav bar. Not everything is nav bar here. This complete is called header. So inside this, how many divisions should I make? I can see there is one standalone element.
Hello. Yeah, only Z index window is visible.
Oh, okay. Screens, big thing. Is it visible now, Rishikesh?
Nope, still. Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I keep forgetting my screen is not all set. It will be visible now. Yeah. So we'll start with this. Well, when we first look at this, we can see there is one container. Well, let me. Can you guys share the Figma link of this when I send in the group on chat? Well, until you do that, let's continue. So when we come here, we first see that there is this one container, one huge container. Inside this, there is one header. Inside that, under that, there is this whole other div, and I can see there are huge text, tiny text, two buttons, one image with random cards placed on it. So we'll see how it's made, how divisions are made across this. So let's see first the header part. This is called a header and not a navbar completely, because navbar is just this. These 5 buttons are called navbar, not this complete thing. We'll call it header. Now we know how many divs should I make inside this header. Right, I can see that Genesis X is a standalone element. I can see this navbar is one group element, and I can see this sign up is different element. The spacing between these guys is different. So these guys as in this. If I do this, see the spacing between these guys is different. The spacing between these two elements, Genesis X and navbar, is different. That's why we'll keep it different. If we want specific spacing for each group, we are going to use flex a lot, so we want to keep it different in different divs and different spans and different image tags and different containers basically. Now we also know that sign up is different. It has a lot of space. It's pretty visible that it's very different. So let's start first with Genesis X. I'll drink a water a little bit. Okay, let's start. I'm going to use span here because this is not related to my main content. I don't want my readers to read this and guess them that what page is this. I want them to read all these tags, all these texts. So I'll use the H1 and H6 tags, H1, H2 and H3 tags there. H1 tags, H tags also come under semantic tags. They are also very important. So I have kept Genesis X under span. Then I'll keep this everything inside this in one nav. So this is a semantic tag. This will tell the crawler or whatever script is reading your website that all the navbar is here. Inside this, we do know that we use H tags to go across sites. So how it works. Then we have features. Then we have pricing. Then we have FAQs. You also may know that this is not exactly as is. This is just a template. We'll go ahead. Then we know that there is one button called sign up. So we'll create a button. And we'll call it sign up. And let's see what is displayed. So right now this is what we are getting. Okay, first we know, well, when we see this, okay, is everything visible? Yeah. We know that this is sans. You can see what font it is. I don't want to get into fonts right now. That's a whole big deal. But let's just keep everything on sans right now. So font style sans. So sans. Yep.
HTML. This is not changed. Okay. Something is wrong. Yeah, now it will. let's see why is this not working. Let's see. Change font. We'll just Google it. What goes? Change font style in CSS. We'll debug it together. We see that we want sans serif. Yeah, that's what we wrote, right? Well, I much use Tailwind, so CSS has got a roughed up a bit. Okay, let's use this only. So yep. So we can see that we have these three things. Now we want it like this. So you can see that this is one div complete now. Okay, what's next? The HTML part here is done. What next part is with CSS. So let's see first. We can see that there is a background color to this. I need to add some thing called margin 0, padding 0 to HTML and body and CSS. Yeah, so now it is default. So let's start. We'll give this is a header tag. We can directly use the tag name here inside, as I was doing with those. So what do we know here? First of all, our main content that is wrapped in the main tag. This everything is main tag, right? We know that the background color for this is same as this. So be aware that the background color of this is not set to anything. If I change it, then it is set. I'm not setting background color to the header. I'm setting the background color to the element above it. So main. Let's set main background color. What is the background color? It is F3. So now if you can see, we have set the background color here. We can also see that there is some padding here, or margin, more accurately margin to the main parent element to this. So let's add that too. Margin I want everywhere, so 3 rems maybe. 3 rems is, I guess, too much. Let's give it 2 rems. Yeah, 2 rems looks perfect. Now let's work inside it. Now we know that this is one row. So what do we do when everything is one row? We use display flex. This is where we use the header. Now we want to display flex header, not everything inside main. Everything inside main will be everything. I know I have done one mistake here, that I should contain it inside it, but I purposely did that to show you how it looks, to get it wrong. Okay. So header, we will display flex header. When we do that, you can see everything is in one line. That's what we want. We are getting it slowly there. The next part is, we want this. We said that we want this and this to be one group element. So we'll do that. will wrap the Genesis X and the navbar in one div. If you're using VS Code, you will have a default formatter, and if you use Alt Shift F, it will automatically format the whole document for you with automatic indents, proper indents and stuff. So now I have separated the Genesis X navbar as one group with the other element which is sign up. Now what I want this element inside it, the nav div inside the header, to also have flex, because this is also one line. So let's do that. Header, and okay, let's name it header group or nav group. We'll say nav group, we'll display it flex also. Now you can see we are back to the previous one. Now why did I do the separations? Why didn't I keep it safe? Because when I will add spacing and stuff via flex, flex automatically gives spacing. So let's see, display flex, justify content space between. When I do space between, you can see that sign up has gone all the way to the right, and we still have Genesis X and this at left, because that's how we want it, right? If I changed this like if I removed this div, see, now everything has spaced out. I don't want this much space between Genesis X and home or navbar, but I want the previous one. So I will group this Genesis X and the whole navbar as one div. So the spacing is done between that one div and sign up, not between these three divs, the elements independently. So I'll uncomment it. So we are back here. Next thing we want to do is we'll work on this div. There is some spacing between these two, right? So navbar. So I know that this header inside nav, this nav is inside header. So header, you can do many things like a tag. Then this basically means if we hover over this, we can see that header, that nav is inside header. It's a specificity because I have wrote the HTML like that. Whatever, or no, okay, this won't work, I guess. Okay, let's not do that, or let's give it a name itself. Class name nav. Let's give it nav. Now what I wanted to do is display flex, or more properly, I want to add space to this nav group. I will add flex gap. Okay, there's no gap. Yeah, this gap, if I add one rem, so now there is gap between this Genesis X and this whole nav. Why? Because I have first made this div, that is span nav containing this parent div nav group flex, and added a gap. So this gap is added between span and nav. So span and nav, whatever gap is there between these two. So let's increase it a bit. Okay. I think that's good enough space, I guess. Next thing what we need to do is we are done with, no, we are not done with spacing. There is spacing between these guys, these nav also, the content elements inside nav. So let's do that. So this nav, the elements inside nav also need spacing between these. I have named this class as nav. Now I will give gap. let's say 1.8. Okay, it has given gap, but it looks like this, the gap is same and same, so I will probably increase the gap here. Okay, now it's little different. Yeah. Okay, what's next? We are done with the positioning and gaps, right? We have placed it where we want it. We have given proper margins and gaps. The next thing we need to do is change the view of this. So this is bigger, this is bold, this is not bold, but it is small, and colors are different for many of them. And this button has completely different style than this present here. Let's do this, the span tag. So let's give this a class. We'll give this let's give this logo. Let's consider that our logo. Now here I want to increase the font size. I said to use rems while using font size. So let's say 1.3 rem. So you can see it is little grown, but we need it a little more. Also font weight, let's say bold. Now it is bold, but one thing to notice here is these all content are above the line, but here everything is centered. So what has gone wrong here? Nothing has gone wrong. According to the CSS, it is supposed to be like this. So the elements inside these are supposed to be centered vertically. That's what we want. So we have flex. How do we do it? So we know that this is inside the nav group. So yeah. So align items center. So align item center is also specific to flex. So this won't work if you haven't given display flex. Then if you give it center, it comes in the middle. There is 3 other options, I guess. Flex start will go at top, flex end will come to the end, and center is center. There is also baseline. It's called the default version. Okay, let's see why my font has not changed. I wanted to make it sans serif, right? Default font family. Which I should make it font family. Okay, now it has changed. Okay, and then what's left? What are we leaving behind here? Okay. I know that these tags are medium. So let's do that. So inside nav there are A tags. So inside nav there are A tags. I can write CSS like this also. Basic tutorial stuff will get you this. I know the font size or font weight is let's say 400. Will it change anything? No, it does not. So let's do it 500. Does not. Let's do it 600. So 600 is bold, I guess. Do we want it bold? Okay, let's leave it to 500. What next? we want to change the color of all elements except the first element. So let's change the color of everything first. So color, what color is this? We know this is 82802. I know that you may not always have this design ready to go for you, but what I want to show here is how to make divisions across elements to make it right. So how did I know to make this into one div, make this into one div, keep this separate from these divs? So that's what I'm trying to teach you here. These separations are necessary to style it according to you and with ease. If you didn't do these separations, you might add margin left to this or margin right to this, then it gets very inconsistent. We don't want to do that. We want it very proper, good HTML which can be understood by anyone, and well, good practices we are using here. So color. Now if you see, the color has been changed. We want the first element. So there is something called nav a nth element, nth child. So nth child basically means the nth child. So first child, second child, third child, fourth child, fifth child. This whole nav group is one parent and it has childs. First child, second child, third child, etc. To access the first child, I'll use nth child and give the parameter as 1. These are CSS functions. You know what, let's give the font weight bold. Go select. Okay. Then we do have this sign up button. Let's make this sign up button ready. So class name sign up, same thing, we'll add dot class name. So class name is sign up. Okay, now here I want you guys to focus here. This is a button. This is where box model comes in. We know that this is the content. We know that this is the background. We know that there is, by looking at this, I can understand that there is a lot of padding here because the background is containing it. And we also know that everything is rounded. So let's first see. Let's first add the background. So background color. What is the background color? Background color is this. So if I go here, you can see there is some background color applied here, but there are some default borders and stuff too. We'll override those. While using vanilla CSS HTML, many defaults are set. We do need to override them manually, and we'll do that. Okay, I do know that the content color is white and it's bold, so I'll font weight bold. I'll weight color white. Now it's not there yet, but we are slowly progressing towards this. We are doing it step by step. First content, then we added background color, then now we will add padding. Let's add padding. Padding of 2 rem and 1 rem. Now what this will do? Okay, it's reverse actually. 1 rem, 2 rem. It's too much, right? Let's do this 0.5. Yep, that goes good. Now why we use padding and not margin? Because we want the background color to be having the background color to be present in the space we add. That's why padding. What next is, we don't want this border, so border 0 pixel or just 0. This will remove the border. Now what do we want next? We want the rounded stuff, right? So this is border radius. And now we will give it. So when you want complete circle, this is how we do it. 9999, add n number of some value that is not limited to the circular radius value of that. If I have a very high value, it will try to make it everything round, but you see this is not, the width and height are not same. The width is longer than the height, that's why it can't be a complete circle. So it will do its maximum to make it look like a circle, but this is where we end up. So this is a button, right? We can't see cursor here. I don't know why we can't see cursors here. Let's make cursors also. So cursor pointer. Cursor pointer is you use when you, this is where you explicitly set up that I want a cursor to be displayed, this cursor pointer to be displayed. You can see this pointer, it was not coming before. So now this cursor pointer can do click actions, click events. Same with these A tags also. I don't know why they are not showing. They're supposed to show. Now it will show on each of these. We can also see that there is a lot of spacing between these and the container and the navbar. We didn't add that. Let's do that. Wow, really tired. What? So we know that this header should have padding, not margin, because again here we want it, we want the background to be consumed. Padding 5 let's say 5 Oh, too much. Okay, I need a top-down approach to one. Okay, again next. So you need to play around with the values to know where it set is, where this has to be set, right? No one will ever remember every value, that if I give it 2 rems it will be this much, if I give it 5 rems it will be this much. You will always try and build, like test and build, test and build, test and build. That's how it goes in the coding world. Yep, I guess this looks right. Also notice that we have these also, this container also has some rounded border. Let's give that border radius. Now we know that it is not complete circle, so we won't give it 9999 as earlier. So it is when that doesn't work. Okay, I forgot I should use Firefox. 3000. Sorry, 550. Use Firefox when doing web development because it has better tools. I'll show you one feature of it. So when you hover it, the purple thing you see, okay, layout, yes. So Firefox shows this box model, whatever you do, whatever is calculation is done. So here the width is 1408, the height is 36, it has padding left and right of 32, top and bottom of 16, it has 0 border. So these values you can easily see with its colors when using Firefox. Firefox is very good for web development while testing the front end. And there we go. You want it? Okay, our header is this. We are added padding. Okay. Okay, it became full, so no. Now this is also too much, right? Okay, wait. One thing has to go. So this is too much. This is way too much. Let's decrease it a little bit. 0.8. Now, okay, 0.8 stuff. Yes, 0.5 looks good. Accurate to a design. While working in industries, you will mostly be given designs and you need to code that out. So these values that I'm getting, the color, the each and every border and whatever images, everything will be given to you beforehand. This design will be given to you beforehand. So what next? So you can see the navbar is done. It's pretty close. There is also much greater space. Let's there is in a design, it has this navbar has lot of left and right space. Now there are two ways to go about it. You can add margin or padding. Now here it doesn't depend because our navbar doesn't has padding. Our main element has padding. So sorry, our navbar doesn't has background. Our main element has background. So if I go and give header margin of, or just increase this to 6, see what happens. So it is much more inside it, and with padding. We can give it even more. Also, if you notice that sign up button is bigger than these buttons, so maybe we should change that to sign up button should have a font size of what? 0.5 rem. Okay, 1 rem is 16, no, so 1.2 rem or 1.5 rem. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, this bold definitely doesn't look like this. Let's change it. You know what? Let's see this also. How to add this font. So I know that this is a inter font. So where do I get the font and where do I add it? So let's directly go to Google Fonts. This is where you get all your fonts. Major fonts you get from here. And I want inter. So I will search inter. This is inter. Okay. Inter is loading. I want to add this as CSS. We will click this button. So what all? These are the number of weights. This weights. How much of these I want? Okay, I'll add this to the link here. So I want 300, I want 400, I want 500, I want 600, 700. That's it. I want these 5 weights of 5 weights of font. So this here you can see this automatically generated stuff. I'll copy this link. This link is supposed to be in your HTML. I'll paste it here, and then they are saying that we should add font family inter. Now here, instead of this, okay, click some wrong button there. We should have this. So let's see, has our font changed? Yep, it's either. So yes, it has definitely changed. To show if it has changed, I don't know if you can see the difference, but it has changed. Now I will change it change the font weight to what it was. Medium, right? Font weight of A, this should be 500. So now this is much thinner and more accurate to our design. Everything is now much more accurate to our design. Yeah, I think the navbar now looks pretty accurate to our design. The time is running too fast. We might extend the session little, 15 to 30 minutes. We'll complete this one part. Everything is not possible. Maybe we'll take a session tomorrow or day after tomorrow and complete this. Let's move ahead and do this. Okay, I know that the next part is this whole thing, right? So should I directly start writing h1 and this whole text, then paragraph, then whole text? No, let's see the divisions, because this is completely one row. We are doing flex wise everything. So remember what divs we should make. I know that this whole content is one row. This, okay, wait, let me show. You can see the blue border, that whole is one row, so it has to be one div. Let's directly create the one div, or more preferably section. Semantic tags, remember, one section. Inside that there are again two sections. See, one section, two section. So first let's do this first section, and section inside section is avoidable, so let's do div inside a section. Like a water. So what's next? Now I know that I need two divs, one div and two div, and in the inside the first div there are again two divs, because you can see this has two rows, but this has one row. It is grouped together because the weights are different. You can keep it separate, doesn't matter here, because it let's keep it grouped. Let's make it a little complicated, because we want, the point was here to create mental model. These blue boxes that I'm looking here should automatically be created in your brain, and you should automatically decide, okay, this many boxes, I need to set these display flex, set these boxes display flex, and these are the positions. We have not got into positions, and so this, while building this, we'll create the positions. So first div, we have h1 tag. Let's copy this text. Then we have p tag. Okay, let's avoid that. Then we have these two buttons. Now these two buttons are again single container, right? Let's containerize it too. We'll say div, we'll say button. We have two buttons, so this is one div, it has two buttons. The first is named get started. Get started, order now. Let's see what we get here. We get this thing here. Okay, cool. We will add this too, or should we continue this first? Let's create this design first. Okay, I know that this first div is apparently 55% of this div. Okay, 50% you may say, yeah. So this is basically 50% of this total container. So we need to make, okay, that's why, okay, let's add this image too first. I need to download this image. V1 Splash. Okay, you mostly use Unsplash for free images. You can use it for free anywhere. this. Yeah. It's huge, nice pizza. I'll name it as pizza1.jpg. So I know that this, sorry, yeah, it contains one image. So image src, we know that it is named pizza1.jpg. Normal, this is how you define an image, and it's pretty huge. So let's set the width and height. So here we want it to be displayed like this. So which is 505.601.610. Okay, with this 505, height is 601. Okay. So we are pretty much here. Let's see, the HTML part is done. This 3 divs will take care of this later. Let's make without these divs, because we need to get into positions while doing this. Okay, I know this is too much theory. You guys with me? Make some comments, sir. Okay. Schools. Now that I know, now if I do one flex over, let's in this section, I'll call it as hero. If I display flex on hero, you can see that this div is taking the maximum possible space for it, and then remaining possible, basically it flex decides how much width is given to each element, but you should give it yourself, because we want this to take 50%, about 50%, and we want the next to take about 50%. So the first div, hero and child, and first div, we want that div to take width of 50%, and the nth child to also take 50%. Okay, what's happening here? Something is wrong. Okay, we need to mention that this hero has width full, or 100%. Okay. It's not taking 100%. So let's see what's wrong. I have given 100%. Yeah, this is a section. We need rules. Okay, it says it can't take 100%. See, when something like this happens, that whatever you are assigning, it's not taking it, just do important. Exclamation important will force it to take the 100%. It's still then not taking. Something is wrong. From this hero do with 50%. Okay, I guess this works. So at this point, what I did was, I'll show you via this. So this is a hero. I guess this doesn't have. Should still work. Yeah, it's still working. So this is our div, whole div. The blue size you see is its whole width and height. Now what I'm doing is setting the first div 50%, setting the second div 50%. So the whole 100% is occupied by the two divs. Let's continue. So that's how you need to think, how much width and height I'm assigning to each div. You need to go into much details when working with these things. Hero and child 1, let's say the first div I'm assigning, or let's name it. It's difficult. Let's say hero child 1. I'll copy it. Then I'll say the h1 element inside this hero child 1, wherever it is placed, I want its font size to be much bigger, right? So let's say 3 rems. What do you think? This is 3 rems? Yeah, it feels like 3 rems. Next we have this text. So hero child, and so that is a p tag. The font seems to be default. Let's keep it default. Let's change the color though. We know that the color is 82828282. Pulse color. Then we do have these 2 buttons. Let's style them those quickly. Yeah. So hero child button. Okay. GitHub got autopilot. Did that for me. I'll name those buttons ID via ID this time. Get started. It's upon you to use ID or class, but it takes a hashtag to use ID, and it takes class dot for class name. ID can be used for one element specifically. Class name can be used multiple times. Order now. So if I do, what is this called? Get started. I want the background to be, well, same like this, right? Let's do this. I want the background color to be orange. I don't want any border. Then I do want padding. You know, 1 rem, 2 rem. So 1 rem is too much. 0.5 rem. Okay, I also want it to be bold, and I also want the color to be white. I know all this because I'm looking at the design. Color to be white. I want the font weight to be bold. I want border radius full. So this design is kind of achieved now. I think the top and bottom padding are greater. So this is, when you use padding like this, the first element is top and bottom, the second element is left and right. Yep. What's next? We have another button, order now. Order now has transparent background. So transparent background, it has a border of black. You can look at it and tell it, right? You don't have to think about it a lot. It has transparent background, it has border black, it has 1 pixels of border, 2 pixel of border, something like that, and full radius. Let's do that. Background color transparent is one property, and automatically its background is assigned transparent. Border, let's give it 2 pixel, solid, and yeah, black. We want the same padding, 0.8 rem, 2 rem. We want border radius to be same. Border radius 9999 px. Then after this, we do know that these 2 elements need to be on side besides, not up and down. So the division containing their container needs to be set on flex div. So this hero buttons, you can give whatever names you want. Display flex, sorry, flex. So then space, we do want space, so gap 2m. Nice. We are pretty much here, but not completely. There's a lot of spacing around here. So what you can think here is our dev right now consists of everything till here. What we can do is give this one div 40% and this give this one div 40%, and I'll show you something. What if we give this section hero, right, yeah, if I give this 40%, okay, and what if I do space, sorry, justify content space around. So this is a property of flex again. Okay, maybe we should make it 30%. Or let's keep it 40% and make so there are 3 properties: space evenly, justify content as space evenly, it will evenly match the gap between these, then it has space around will maximize the space around them, like this space and this space between will maximize the space here. So that's mostly it. We want space, we don't want space between, we want space around or evenly. We'll decide. Let's keep it around. These buttons don't seem to be acting as the way we want it, so let's change that. Buttons minimum height, width, fit content. So this is one way to assign the minimum width to accept its whole content. Fit content, so whatever gets started, it was trying to minimize it, but no, it will take the whole width. So whatever content is going, get it in, and I'll accept that as my minimum width. If I make the width smaller, it will shrink and go into multiple lines. We don't want that. We also know there is much space between these and this. Okay, so do we do? These have hero buttons have, let's give it a margin top. We'll give it a margin top of 2 rem. Let's give it 3 rem. So this design and this design still looks a lot different. I think the buttons are bigger. Let's change the button size. Font size 1.3 rem. Okay, 1.2 rem. Yeah, 1.2 rem looks right. Or 1.1 rem. Okay, this also seems to be having a lot of margin automatically assigned by whom? So h1 tag automatically assigns it. We'll change it. So this h1 tag needs MB margin bottom of 0%. So this automatics defaults why in the third day, that is when we use Tailwind, it will remove all the defaults. We'll start everything from scratch, so it will be much easier. Okay. We see there is still a lot of spacing going on. Maybe maybe we'll give this 35%. Let's space around. Yep. Okay. Let's also give this whole hero thing align items of center. Makes it pretty bad. Okay, we won't do that. What we want is some space above this, some empty space above this. So hero child is the first step, right? Yeah. So we want hero child to have margin top of 3 rem maybe. Yeah, that looks good. 3 rem. Now let's work with this image. Let's give it a class name. Where is everything going? Yep, adding left for section. Yeah, we can do that too. Okay, we need to change the image. Image. Let's give it pizza 1 because there are lots of pizzas coming in. So pizza 1. Let's style the pizza 1. Now we know that pizza is a lot of, its radius is much huge, right? Much huge of radius. So let's do that. Border radius. Let's give it 3 rems. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, 3 rems, maybe 4 rems, or 4 rems should be too much. Okay, 4 rems feels pretty accurate to me, to this. But I see that there is a lot of spacing between these two and the here 2. So maybe we should add some padding or margin around the image. Let's see how that goes. So we want padding. Padding 1 rem. I think padding does it differently. It's padding margin. What's happening? Maybe I should add margin. Okay, maybe we should not add padding and margin to the image itself, but its container, that is this div. So let's do this class hero child 2. Then we'll add margin 1 rem, 2 rem. Let's see where this goes. So we did nothing. Okay. The image is not decreasing its size because it has a fixed width and height. We need it to adjust according to our div. So mostly, how do you do that? So this image we have, right, we will give it width of 100%. It will, and height of 100%. So whatever the parent div is, it will take its width and height now. Yep. Nope, nothing working. Let's try this one. Margin 2. Yeah, maybe we can decrease the width. Maybe more. So there is one property called object fit contain. It will keep the dimensions of my image. Okay, maybe I don't want it here. Height is also 80%. Trying to figure out with you here what's wrong. Maybe 90% this, 80% that. Yeah, this looks pretty accurate. We'll add, okay, we want to add more margin up and down. So let's do this. This container, whole container called hero, will add margin 2 rem and 0 to that. So it has now added margin to the top and bottom of this. So yeah, we can remove this and remove this. Yep. Yeah, that looks good. Or I should make it smaller actually. Let's make this 400 and this stuff is 500. Is it too small? Whatever value you give here, you should really changing it through the CSS. Yeah, this looks good. You're pretty close to complete this. Now let's make this three cards. Yeah, so what does that has to do with it? So these cards, let's just write those first. So I'll show you quickly how do you design these cards. So I know that it has this card has two divisions, one image, two text, and this text itself has two divisions, that is two p tags. So let's do that. I have a span. I'll call this card a span. I'll have image. So I have not downloaded this image, so let's download it. View on and splash, download. And save this. So what is this? What I have named it here? Can anyone guess what dish is this? I can see Karela, so I'll see Karela. Karela, don't chip it. It feels like, it looks like Karela. So I know there is an image. I know there's a SRC. I just said it's Karela. I know its width. I'm going to keep it pretty small, like 60, and height also 60. I'm keeping the height and width same because I need to make it a full circle, right? Then I have another span, and in that I have two p tags. There is this random text. There is this another random text. Okay, I should really increase this. Yeah, this looks good. Now let's see what is generated. Everything is messed up. It's designed. Okay, there is this span. It's a Karela. Then we'll go to the styles. We'll style the Karela. We know that Karela is display flex because it's on besides. We know the Karela image is border radius 999px because it's full circle. Yeah, Karela looks good now. We also need to add border background color. Background color as white because in design it is white. Okay, where is it? Yeah, so we are not there yet. Cool. So this flex will also align items center. So I have vertically centered the items. Now they'll look little better. I see there is a lot of padding left and right. Let's add those padding on left and right. So first is top bottom, so left is left and right. Can see something. Okay, also the width is automatically assigned to full. I don't want full, I want minimum content. No, I want maximum fit content. When I say fit content, that means you saw what happened when I kept it minimum content. It broke the sentences in different lines. I don't want that. But if I do max content, it will take that too works, I guess. Fit content and max content. Okay, I also want gap between these guys, so let's say 1 rem of gap. Okay, very good. Let's increase the gap to 1.5 rem. Let's increase the padding to left and right padding to 2 rem. Okay, we also know that there is a lot of border radius to Karela. Border radius 2 rem, too much, 1 rem. Let's see. Yeah, I guess 1 rem of border radius is pretty fine. We can see that there is some margin added to these guys. I don't want that margin. So Karela has a span inside it? Yeah. Karela has a span inside it that has margin inside it. So I need that margin to be 0. Karela span, sorry. So Karela has some P inside it whose margin needs to be 0. Yeah, now basically I removed the default. I'll basically add some margin by myself because control values are better than default. You will know what's happening. I also want little gap alongside this top bottom. So let's say 0.3 rem and 0. So this card now looks like the one in design, except this is in bold medium. So maybe font weight, okay, not here, maybe 500 on Karela. Yes. Now the position. I waited just 2 hours for this part only. I want this to be placed here, not here. So I want to remove it from its actual place, whatever place it has been assigned, and place it here. So what I will do is, if I make Karela, here we will change the position. If I do position absolute, so you will see that it's still here, but it is separated from its base. If I do top 0 and left 0, it is now here. If I do absolute without changing the parent element's position, it will basically take the next parent which with the position relative. Means abhi this is here, it is here, its parent is not relative, then it checks this parent is this whole box, right? This is also not relative, then it checks the main container, it's also not relative, then it goes for the parent, the HTML tag one, body is relative. So we wanted this top 0 left 0 to be here, so we will make this parent container, which is what, not Karela, pizza, I guess. No, hero child 2 as, where is hero child 2? Okay. Do I want to do this? Okay. Hero child 2 should have position of relative. See, now that's the difference. This card is inside hero child 2. If that is not relative, it will find its parent container. The next parent, whoever has relative height, it will go and stick to it. But if we make this parent child as relative, it will stick to this. So this is top 0 left 0 of hero child 2. Now we want it to be around. So okay, you can just play with these values. I will play directly in the console. I will okay, I'll directly play here. I'll do top 20%. Let's see what 100% is. 100% is removing it from its main base. So this probably feels around 60%, no? So 60%, where is it? 60%. And left, we need to give it negative left, because if we give positive left, you can see it's going there, but no, we need it around here. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. So maybe values minus 60 and minus 15 look good. Sorry, 60% top and minus 15%. Okay. So this is how you work with absolute elements. You set the parent element relative, and then you create the child element absolute, so it will react to its parent elements 0, and it will use the x-axis from here. Basically, x-axis is the going from left to right and top to bottom. Left to right is 0 to plus plus plus, and top to bottom is 0 to plus plus plus. Let's create the next two cards quickly. Okay, these two are pretty same, so let's copy this. Okay, my point here is to show you not to make the card but to place it correctly. So I'll rename this as egg, I guess. This is egg. Download it. Download the egg. We'll place the egg in our style. We'll rename it to egg. We have that. Okay, so now CSS, we do have to use reuse this. So we won't copy and paste it in egg. What we will do is create extra tag called pizza cards, because it is on pizza. So I'll keep pizza cards here and here. I'll just change pizza card here, and I'll just do Karela, and I'll just move the positions of Karela to here, where I assign the position and set the left and right. This is pizza cards. So everything is still the same. Now if I go and do egg, and egg is right now here. Okay, we need to change this one. Egg.jpg, of course. Change the content to continue professional food delivery. Continue professional food delivery. Okay, we'll end it very soon. We'll just complete these part. It will take much time. Maybe I'll create some videos and upload for these sections. Where were we? Yeah, now let's test with these also. We want position absolute. Okay. So it's now here, we want it here. So basically, let's try. Is this egg? Yeah, we don't need a left, we need right. We'll keep it 0 and see if it fits. We need -0, I guess. Okay, -0. Let's keep it in percentage. -10%. Yeah. And top, let's keep top 30. Okay. 20%. Okay, no, 40%. 30%. Yeah. 30% or 25%. Okay, so top 25% and right -10%. Cool. So this is how you play around and get values that you want. Right is -10. Then there is this. This is a little different button. Let's make this. Span image need to download this too. This is a burger image and splash, download for free. Save it here, change it to burger 1 because I use multiple burger images in future. Say burger 1, sorry, yeah, let's say burger, class name src burger1.jpj. Need to edit this a little bigger than those, so let's say 80 and height GHT is 80. Also know that there is one p tag called burger. There is another p tag with some information. So how do you make this? See, it's half levitating outside it. Oops. Okay, one second. Thank you. So what has this given us? It has given us this. Let's go over the whole process again. Burger, pizza, card. Yep. Pretty username. Burger, pizza, card. We need background color white. We need. Okay, we'll keep everything as display flex, and I'll show you another property of display flex, that everything does not has to be rows. You can flex direction to column. Now instead of rows, it is columns. But unlike grid, it can't be both. But because we are using flex, it's easier to use, according to me. What is next? So we can see that. Okay, let's style the burger. Burger, pizza, card, img. What have you done? I don't need this. Border radius 9999 pixel. Okay, cool. I also know that my burger card will have this border radius of 1. Okay, cool. I also want everything to be centered. So justify content center. Okay, align item center. Okay, why now align items and not justify content? Because now vertical is like this. When you do columns, you have shifted the ellipse, right? So it was like this. So when align items you're doing, it was centering here, but now flex direction is like this, so you want to center it here. That's why align items will center it according to the axis, which in rows is vertical and in columns is horizontal. So what I want to do next is actually a burger card. Let's give this a class name called burger title. Burger title. I want this font weight to be bold. I want font size to be 1.5 rem. Yeah. Okay, I want this whole text to be centered. Burger Visa card P should text center. What? Yeah, text align center. We also don't want these margins. Stupid margins. Automatic margins. We'll give the margins ourselves. In here, if I do gap, I give what, 1 rem. Okay, this div is also pretty smaller than that. Okay, so I will change the width here to use I said to use percentage and width, right? So but here it is not relative to that, so we'll use rems only. 10 rem. Okay, pretty small. Pretty big. 15 rem. Maybe 30 rem. Too big. 20 rem. Yeah, 20 rem seems nice. Also the p tag text size, sorry, font size is what, 0.8 rem. Title. We'll assign this because I don't want to give both of them same styles. I want to differentiate. Both are p tags, I know. Now let's do this. This has to go above, right? So well, let's place it first where we want it. We want this burger pizza card to be positioned. Okay, sorry. Burger pizza card to be positioned absolute. Wait, top 0. You can see it much better now. Okay, let's add some padding. We'll add padding directly to p tag. We are not adding global padding. I'll tell you why. Because it will look like we are adding global padding. Padding bottom. Bottom one run. Sorry. Padding 0 1 run. What? Sometimes things just don't work. Okay, cruise. Maybe this should be 1 run. Little less than 1 run. Okay, so if you can see, this burger image is above it floating across. We'll change that now. Burger image, because we have set this to absolute or relative, anything. You can change the inside element by setting it to relative. So if I give it position relative top minus 2 run, so you can see it has moved up, but see there is a lot of space between these now, so we'll move these elements up too. So instead of doing like this, 1 year, okay, so instead of doing this, what you can do is use a CSS property called burger pizza card. Star will select all the elements inside it and give it position relative and top minus 2 rem. So why arrow? So it will give its own child, not its child. So when we were doing this, you can see this dot means it will give it to all the elements. The elements inside elements will also be given this properties. We don't want that. We just want it to be given to the elements only inside this burger pizza card. Okay, now we want to place it here. So let's decrease this. 1.5. I know I want to paste, keep it at bottom. So this will be bottom 0. Oh, sorry. This will be bottom 0. Is there any? Yeah, Karela would be. Should we make it smaller? I don't know. Let's see. We'll say left 30%. Okay, it's pretty big now. Let's decrease everything. Let's give burger title to 1 rem. Burger para to 0. Sorry. 1 rem. Let's decrease the burger pizza cart's width to 15 rem or 17 rem. And now this bottom should be minus 10%. Okay, maybe 15%. So yep, we have created this. Not very accurate, I know, but very close to it. You can go ahead and do it yourselves also. You can add margins about this. You can increase this font size. You can increase this font size too. I guess it's big. There is a lot more spacing around left and right here. Maybe you can add spacing there. So the basic concept was, when you create blocks or sections or any elements, you should know how to make divisions. You should know how to design it using flex. Then you should know what position property to give to that element and to its parent element to assign it somewhere on the screen. So it's a long session. It went for 2.5 hours. Yes. So there is a lot more stuff. Everything here follows the same concept. Okay, maybe it's not possible to create all of this in one video. We do have more sessions, but those are on another topics. So that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you for joining with me, everyone. I will add this code. You are obviously in the Genesis X group, so I will send these links. Add this everything on GitHub and send the GitHub code, source code. Thank you for being with me. And yes, we will end this session right now.